Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Super Micro Computer. It is time for another update, and on this chart we have been tracking this idea of a large impulse that could technically still work out. It is certainly one of the more fragile scenarios, and here we would be tracking basically a series of 1-2 setups, and then we would see this as the larger wave 3 to the upside. Now, unless we have actually bottomed within this wave 4 or we are building it as a triangle, I wouldn't expect it to work out. If we see a reset within this area, I would most likely prefer another scenario, another interpretation. We had only a small correction here within the wave 2. We can't expect to have an even larger correction within the wave 4 in this area within this count. Yeah, it would not be reliable, and other interpretations will work out much better. It is also already a fragile interpretation, and again, it has the expectations I just mentioned. Either a bottom to be in place and then we build a very ugly ending diagonal within this wave 5, or a triangle that could still form within this area. That is also an acceptable interpretation, an acceptable outcome for this wave 4. But right now we are focusing here on the possible interpretations within this area, because while it is possible to have formed the bottom, we need to be aware that this could very easily extend lower. Right now, the orange scenario is even leading, and here we are tracking a larger A, B, C structure to the downside. And in this interpretation, we have in the wave C a 5-wave move that we are expecting to build, and within the 5-wave structure within the wave C, we would be at the moment within the larger wave 3 to the downside. Now, we also have here the green interpretation that still allows extensions higher. Yeah, this could work out, for example, within a triangle. It could work out even within a direct breakout, but it's nothing highly suggestive of continuation to higher levels. Yeah, we have here basically a WXY. Could be working out even as an ABC structure, doesn't matter exactly, but we have a fragile structure, a fragile area of support that wouldn't necessarily, or that I wouldn't necessarily expect to provide a reliable trade setup. And if we wanted to be looking for a potential extension higher, I would need a confirmation from a smaller time frame. Yeah, an initial 5-wave move to the downside, or sorry, to the upside within this area, and then a 3-wave correction, and then that would be an interesting 1-2 setup to track. Yeah, it could be an interesting pattern to look for a position into, but as of right now, this is a high risk area. It could very easily still extend lower, and we are tracking just that within the orange scenario. Now, if we also see here a break below the 78.6% retracement around the $23 level, it's another strong signal this pattern is going to fail. It's going to extend even lower. It has also some additional structural support around this area, around this level. But yeah, if it fails, it is a very strong signal. This chart has a lot more weakness to be expected, and that, yeah, we should focus even more on the orange interpretation. Now, in the previous video, we were focusing specifically in or on the wave 3, and this is the wave 3 we are tracking in the orange scenario. And within this wave 3, we are looking for an impulse to form to the downside at the moment. Here we have a wave 1 down, a wave 2 up, and then a third wave would be unfolding within this area. Within this wave 3, we were looking here for 1-2 setup, and the third wave that could have bottomed here. I would have probably even preferred it to bottom here. The structure is now a bit more ugly, but I cannot realistically track another interpretation. I would need to still consider this was an extension of the wave 3, and we would need to adjust the area of resistance we would track within these levels, yeah? And then we would be looking at the $32.8 being the first level of resistance, all the way up to the $39.6 level. If we manage to actually break above the last level of resistance, it would be an interesting signal that this structure could see more upside. Yeah, we would be looking with high interest for a potential initial 5-wave move to the upside, but unless we actually get that 5-wave move, I will not be able to provide a high probability trade setup within this area. I absolutely need that, and I need it within a respectable time frame to provide an interesting trade setup, to look for a potential position. Yeah, unless that happens, we can look for areas of support, but they will not necessarily be trade setups. They will be areas that would be more useful as signals that the structure is going to fail, that it's going to break down, and we'll be tracking the last level of support for the break. Yeah, that is what they're going to be the most useful for, unless we get the pattern. Yeah. Now, from this current low within the wave 3, we did actually build here in the last couple of days. What is it? Yeah, the last 3 days, we did build here an interesting setup, an interesting structure. And here I could consider this to be basically a double 1 2 1 2 setup. And the third wave could have formed the top here. I could also see it extend a little bit higher, but we can be looking for interesting extensions within these levels. Now, be aware, this doesn't owe us anything. It doesn't need to form out as an impulse, but I would prefer it to. And assuming we actually have a top within this wave 3, yeah, we can be looking for a correction in the area of support, or for the area of support in the wave 4. And this would be at the levels between the $31.7 all the way down to the $30.8 level. A break below the 50% retracement would be a strong signal that this structure is going to fail, at least as an impulse. But yeah, we can already notice we might be pushing higher within this wave 3 in a more direct fashion. I might even prefer that, to be honest. Yeah, we might have here a tiny 1-2 setup, a third wave up, fourth wave down, and then a fifth wave. Could be that the third wave is still extending higher. I believe this is, however, forming an ending diagonal within this area. And while I'm not outruling the possibility of a much stronger pattern to form here, yeah, this could have been another 1-2 setup, and then 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. A third wave could appear out of nowhere. Sure, we aren't going to focus here on hopium scenarios, yeah. Now, if we push higher within this area, we would need to adjust the area of support. Along with it, I would still be considering this part of the wave 3. And if we are to fail holding the relevant levels of support for a correction in the wave 4 within this interpretation, I could consider this to be a 1, 2, 3 within a larger leading diagonal. If we fail to hold then the correction for a wave 4, well, I would be looking with higher likelihood for failure. But we would be looking here at an area of support for the entire ABC structure here at the levels between the 23.6% retracement, and let's even think about a scenario to track this within. Yeah, we can track this within yellow, and yeah, I took the wrong tool. But here the $31.4 level at the 23.6% retracement, all the way down to the 61.8% retracement at the $29.6 level. Now, for this, it applies the same. We need to drag the area of support along with the latest top within the wave 3. Yeah. We would need to adjust it if we push higher, which seems like a very likely expectation right now. Yeah, it looks like it already wants to go higher, but a break below the 61.8% retracement is a strong signal that this structure is going to fail forming the 5-wave move to the upside. Yeah, maybe on a larger scale, but within this time frame, yeah, it's going to be a failure. We might be considering it something like an ABC structure, complete, could be part of a larger leading diagonal, sure, but what are the probabilities? What are the odds? Nothing I would consider too favorable. But for now, we are still below the resistance area. I wouldn't be looking with high likelihood for a breakout. Again, we need a break above the 50% retracement for a signal that this structure is not going to extend lower. And even then, I would still need a 5-wave move to the upside to have some confidence in a follow-up trade setup in something like a 1-2, yeah, within this area. But for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.